We very often hear about business fraud and investment fraud after someone has been accused and they have been either arrested or put on trial or sued in civil court. Therefore, their name has been brought out in public. What we never hear about is successful fraud. That means fraud committed by someone who actually got away with it for various reasons. Not because they were necessarily pure about it and unsuspected, but for other reasons. But the first one is that they were never suspected. For example, especially when someone owns their own company, there are very few people who are actually going to accuse them of it because their employees are not going to do that because they want to keep their jobs. Others may not even know about it because the person who is committing the crime also has total control over the company. Therefore, they're really beyond suspicion unless they happen to run afoul of tax laws or bank loans and other things that suddenly put somebody in a position where they're going to get suspected because they messed up. So if they don't mess up, which, to tell you the truth, rarely happens over a long enough period of time, they will get away with it. The second one is to be suspected but not accused. In other words, with an employee or even with an owner of a company who has obligations to others, and someone notices that there's something wrong, money is not proper, the company is not being run exactly the way it should be, there are suspicious areas that are being exploited by someone, and yet that person is important enough, or the reputation of the company is important enough, or the risk to the company of exposure is important enough that they simply end the relationship without ever accusing them. Therefore, it's over, it's quiet, and it's done. And in privately held companies, that's a very popular response. The next one is to be suspected but not litigated. They can be confronted, they can be privately accused, they could be removed from their job for various reasons. But because it's really not worth litigating them for several reasons. The first reason is the company is going to have its own problems exposed in public, and very few company owners, especially people in control position, want their company's internal operations discussed in an open courtroom where anyone can read the information. There can be considerable collateral damage to the company, and the likelihood, even if they do prevail, of recovering the money is minimal because most people, in my experience, when they take money, they spend the money, usually on not something that you can find and get back. If they happen to have bought a lot of real estate, then perhaps there can be a hold put on it. But if they bought cars or jewelry or trips or whatever it is they bought, the likelihood is almost zero. The next one is to be accused but not prosecuted. That means, again, or they've been suspected but not prosecuted. Simply means that, again, they have been caught, and yet the company has decided it's not worth having this person arrested, if they will even be arrested. Bringing these cases to the police and to prosecutors is extremely difficult because they're overwhelmed with cases now, and they have budgetary constraints that makes them only pick a certain number of cases that they can do most successfully and most efficiently. And very often if the case is not that big, or if it's more complicated, not really worth it, it's unlikely to go public into court. And besides, the collateral damage to the company will be the same because, again, the act will be exposed, and some lenders, investors, etc., will get very nervous about the overall operation of the company. Therefore, they would probably prefer that, again, it doesn't get prosecuted, or you can, again, you're not going to recover the money. The last one is simply similar to the second one, suspected but not accused, is the relationship is ended. If it's in a business relationship, maybe the relationship with that company that they feel is cheating them will be terminated. An employee can have their jobs changed, can be put into positions where they probably won't be comfortable. There are various methods to conduct these acts to stop the fraud, and yet never actually accuse them and take no action whatsoever, but simply to make this act go away quietly, because again, the likelihood of recovery is almost zero. The damage from potential exposure is very significant. Why do you want to do it?